to another episode of the Fantasy Debate with Sam and Tate, brought to you by Fantasy Focused and the Original Hooters. I am Sam Holt, joined as always by Derek Tate, but our special guest, we're joined by Matt Bucks tonight as well. How are you guys?
Bucky, you're just here to tell us who wins these debates? Is that true, or are you just going to start arguing with us too? It's going to be all fun.
Things have gotten too divisive on here. I feel like everybody's at each other's throats between the two of you, and we're here to offer just an unsubstantiated opinion, which will therefore tip the scales of justice one way or the other, and that's what I'm here for. Perfect.
That's what we need. We need a moderator, because Tate and I agree on plenty of stuff, and then we disagree on all the stuff that, we draw blood for. So it's important that you have a moderator.
I don't make a good moderator.
You do not. You get it? Excited we get back tomorrow.
Sorry. I'll save it for tomorrow. Save it for tomorrow. I'll get a good Tate
tomorrow, though. I mean, I'm excited. I think you guys are excited too.
I mean, it's the only professional American sport that didn't get pushed back or delayed inevitably. I mean, thank God. This is the moment that I wanted to arrive at when we started losing sports back in March. I was like, please just don't take my NFL football away from me. The football gods have spoken and have delivered on that promise.
That they have. And we got an exciting one with the Texans and Chiefs. Bucks, you excited?
Yeah. Yes, I am. But I, as an avid Premier League supporter, I've already had my sport and my big fix. So they're kicking back off this weekend as well. So it's a little double whammy. But I have to say, when you engineer like the football and the fantasy football aspect to it, when you add that, it's like Salt Bae on a nice little prime cut. You just sprinkle it on there, and I'm feeling good about it. But most of all, I'm looking forward to the fantasy perspective of it. Like, honest to God, now that all of my drafts are done, I'm feeling like $1 million because I think, when you put that prep work in and you see us get to this point where we're starting the season off on time, Derek, thank goodness, we all needed this, and we need this Thursday night kick. And I think it's going to be one of the better matchups of the season. This is going to be an exciting ball game.
Absolutely. I totally think so too. I mean, I just talking drafts a little bit. Guys, if you have any questions about last minute drafts, please go ahead and drop them in the comments and we will help you out as much as we can. I know there's a couple drafts still going on. I may or may not have another draft tomorrow while watching the game. I'm not sure. I'm still trying to count how many leagues I'm in. I think I'm at 10. I might be in 12. I'm not really sure.
I don't know, but I have one owner or one commissioner that has literally made me sign into two different league formats to be able to play in one league. So now I'm all flustered. It's either on Sleeper or it's on ESPN. Now he made me create a My Fantasy League one. It's like, dude, we need to stop with like the duality of leagues. Like, I don't even know which one I can like have to make my waiver claims into. It's driving me up a wall.
I think I have at least one league in every type of format that you can have a fantasy football league in. I think I have one in everything.
That sucks.
Yeah, I mean, in the corporate world, it's the same thing with communication channels. Put it on SharePoint. Put it on Teams. No, not through Teams chats, through the Teams and then the Teams wiki. Put it here. Put it there. That's how it feels. Every day is a work day. And I got to give Victor a shout out here. It's football eve. It is football eve. We know it is. We love it is. It's football eve. That's how we usually go. But it's a good old chant there for us big soccer guys.
Love it. We got lots of people joining us in the chat. Will Jenkins joining us as well. Woo, it's finally here. Bucks in the house. What up, fam? Good to have you, Will. Thanks for always tuning in.
You did not do the woo properly. It's woo.
I knew that you were going to fix it, so that's why.
No, exactly. It's a T-ball.
But I've also got B in here throwing shade at me already. It's so early. What is this for? Sam, you're going down this week in Dynasty League. How dare you, sir? Thought we could be friends.
You're going down, sucker. Buckey, movie? No?
I don't know that one now.
I forgot to. It's okay.
And Tommy Garrett saying, man, Tate dressed up for this. Tate's at work.
Yeah, but I didn't do my hair. So that's the funny part about this. I dressed up, from here down and then up here. It's just a mess because it is Christmas. It's football Eve. Buckey, I think I'm just going to bed tonight, hoping tomorrow that I wake up to a Tampa Bay Buccaneers gift wrap present under the tree in February, a Lombardi trophy. That's all I'm waiting for. Bold predictions?
You still have your tree up in February is what I took from that statement.
I feel like Tate loves Christmas enough, and it's, a Tater thing to not take the tree down.
Do you
It's
get
a fair thing
presents
to
every
not
day?
take down any decorations. So yeah, I've still got by Christmas, I've still got Halloween shit around.
It's Tate's 65 days of Christmas is really what it is from January or December 1st on.
Love it.
365 days a year. Yep. Just let it rip.
Too good.
Fiance is wrapping up waffles in wrapping paper for you for breakfast. Here's your gift.
Yeah, just keep repeating that every day, and I'm a happy man.
Jeez. And then we got Aiden jumping in the chat as well. What would you tell a person starting to get into fantasy football right now? Ooh, I like this question. Let's go around the horn. Bucks, do you want to go first?
Yeah, turn around. Get out. I'm just kidding. No, dive right in. Aiden, it is a great time to get involved with it. The game is kind of shifted recently into more of a PPR type of format, which really, if you're playing PPR, if you're playing standard, it doesn't matter. The competition aspect is what it's all about. But the biggest piece of advice that I have is do your prep work. Understand depth charts 101. That's really what you're focused on is depth chart. You may know some names from previous years and they stand out to you on a draft board. Well, there's plenty of players in the NFL that break through every single season, and it doesn't just happen, one coming week. You can kind of see it building, and that's built off of touches on the football. So if you have a player who's getting touches, getting targets, but they're not exactly on anyone's radar, those are the things you should be looking at. So bottom line for me, make sure you're aware of depth charts. Injuries, number 2. Obviously, that plays in with depth charts. And then also take a look at target counts and touch counts. That is what matters in fantasy football. You need requisite touches or RTs, as I've been pounding into this show for years and years. RTs. Make sure they have the requisite touches. You'll be all right.
Requisite touches, not retweets. Very specific difference to RTs.
Well, I don't know what that is.
It's because you don't go on Twitter at all.
I try not to.
Tate, so what would you say to someone that is joining fantasy football for the first time this year?
Just start the players you want. Like I get a little bit bogged down with all the analytics and how much information is out there now on fantasy football that it can be a little overwhelming. That you can have people twist the numbers and make a case for or against any player out there. So I'll just say this. Don't be crazy and start someone that's like a fourth stringer that's never going to play. But I mean, if you have a guy that you like and you want to start him and you want to cheer for him, then go ahead and let it rip. Have fun with it, because there's been times where it hasn't been fun for me because I overanalyze the shit out of everything. And that's why my hair looks this way, because I'm already having start and sit questions heading into week number 1. But just have fun.
I agree with you guys there. I think, fantasy football to me, when I first started doing it, I loved football in general, but then I was so unfamiliar with just the player depth on other teams aside from my Steelers because I was quite biased. So I went and I just started drafting guys that I thought were cute. So I don't know that helps anyone tuning in now, but I think if you're just having fun the first year, why not just pick players that you're excited to watch? And
I have a question for you.
Wait,
how many times did you draft Eric Decker?
Ooh.
I don't want to answer that.
Yep. I already knew the answer.
How many years was he in the league?
I mean,
how many times?
I had him as a dynasty player for at least like 3 years and probably a year longer than I should have.
Well, I can admit, I can be a man and admit, I too was one that was definitely taken aback by the man's looks. And I judge a man's performance by their looks on the football field. So Eric Decker, he was pretty much my 2.01 each year.
Oh yeah,
4 years.
I think I had Tom Brady and Edelman, and then I had Jordy Nelson. I had Wes Welker at one point. I remember drafting him because I thought he was cute.
Oh no, he's like 5'7".
He had cute eyes. I liked his eyes.
Like 7 and under folk there, Buck.
He was taller than that. He's like 5'8.5". We all know it.
But aside from that, if you're getting into football this year, I agree with you guys what you said. Draft players that you're excited to watch and that you're looking forward to. Don't go for the guy that's the fourth string on the bench, just filling your team up with flyers, but pick players on teams that you're looking forward to cheering for, because it'll make it more fun while you're watching your team progress, and you'll learn as you're going. I love the requisite touches. Obviously, volume is huge in fantasy. You want to win at each position. So as you're building your team for the first time, you want to find players that have high volume, that they're on offenses that are going to produce. And off of that, we've got great game tomorrow with an offense that I think is going to produce a ton all year, and that's the Chiefs versus the Texans. I feel like, and we were talking about this a little bit off air, this is going to be a high floor fantasy game for a lot of people. I mean, I think that we were talking about the Texans maybe having to play from behind just a little bit, just a touch.
Yeah, you think they might after they finished the last game that ousted them out of the playoffs on a 51-7 run from the Kansas City Chiefs. I think that this Kansas City offense went healthy, because when the Texans beat Mahomes and the Chiefs in the regular season last year, he was fighting through an ankle injury. Not to say that that's an excuse. Watson still played a hell of a game, but I mean, I don't see the secondary being able to slow down Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, and the rest of the boys. I think Mahomes probably throws himself 3 tutties. I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire has a really nice debut against this Texans defense. And yeah, I'm just all about the Kansas City Chiefs in week number 1. Should be a high-scoring affair, though. Deshaun Watson's going to do his thing.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm excited to have him in one league, just knowing that he's going to have to be slinging it so much tomorrow. Bucks, what about you?
I'm actually looking forward. I agree with you, Derek. I'm looking forward to some good production out of those Chiefs players. What would you call them? The core 4?
Oh, I didn't call him that. You did. That was nice.
I just did it. I added Edwards-Helaire to it. Yeah, sure did.
Yeah, the core 4.
Who's the Fab 5? Mecole? I don't know.
Who will be the Fab 5th?
But I'm looking forward to see David Johnson in a Texans offense, to be quite honest with you. I think David Johnson is just a nice gap filler for fantasy teams. If you look over the production of the RB1 in Houston, they're just steady Eddie. They're going to get you 1,000 yards. They're going to score 5+ touchdowns. And you don't need much more out of that, where you're getting David Johnson this year. So I'm looking forward to seeing his debut there. I think he should mesh well with Watson in the passing game as well. So I think the Chiefs win this ball game, but I'm actually very intrigued for fellow David Johnson owners just to see kind of how this plays out, because I think that the Texans running back, you're never going to be looking to gun for them in the first, second round. But if you can scoop them early part of the third, which it's probably over by now, but start David Johnson. I like the Houston offense for the running back.
I just tomorrow in particular for you DFS folks, real quick before we talk about this David Johnson question from Victor, I think that with no Brandon Cooks, give me some everywhere you look. It's Fuller House tomorrow, baby. I think he's healthy. He's healthy heading into week 1. Whenever Will Fuller is healthy, you start him.
I wasn't expecting that. I don't know why. I don't feel like nothing can surprise me anymore with you, Tate.
Somebody who needs you.
I don't even know.
Everywhere you look.
Oh,
surrounded. I'm surrounded.
It's a great song.
Ba-da-da-ba-ba-da.
Is that a Kenny Loggins track?
No idea. I just know it's
There's no shot it's Kenny Loggins. That was a joke.
Oh, stop bringing up music artists when you're with me on a pod. I don't know anything.
He's dropping Danger Zone. You think he's dropping Everywhere You Look? Good Christ, Tate.
Sorry.
They're ridiculous.
My bad.
Okay, let's go back to David Johnson really quickly. Victor J is saying, does David Johnson get bagged up early? I'm not quite sure what bagged up means. That sounds negative.
If you've been watching Cobra Kai, you know exactly what it means. Put him in a body bag.
Oh, well, I hope not. I feel like I've got a couple shares of David Johnson this year. And I feel like I'm looking forward to, like you said, seeing him work with Deshaun Watson and just get fully vested in that offense. And I feel like he is going to be a huge asset to that team. With Hopkins leaving town, vacating so many targets, I do not see Cooks eating up all of those targets. I feel like it's going to get split up amongst the receivers, but Johnson is going to have a huge uptick in volume. So I think it's going to be a bounce back year for him.
Thoughts on Johnson there, Tate?
I don't think that Duke Johnson's going to just disappear either. Like, Duke Johnson's going to eat into some of that upside that I always liked with David Johnson for his pass catching work. Duke Johnson is still a very capable pass catching back in the National Football League. And we talked about, the fact that DeAndre Hopkins is no longer there. Yeah, they brought in Brandon Cooks. But generally, when teams lose a top receiver option like that, it doesn't always just take those targets and spread it out to other receivers. A lot of times that means people aren't going to get open on the outside, which leads to checkdowns, which leads to more targets for running backs. David Johnson will certainly see his capable looks, but I just don't think he plays Duke Johnson out of a role in this Texans offense.
By no means, and I'm not asking for that. I understand. I'm not he's not going to be my bell cow on my fantasy team. I'm talking about a guy that you don't need to be that, but you need to be a 10-plus point a game guy.
Do I think that he finishes just inside the top 20? I do, if David Johnson stays healthy. Yep.
That's exactly where I want him, Derek. Exactly where I want him. Right in the highway to the danger zone. Shout out Kenny Logs.
Oh my goodness. I love it. Tyler jumping in the comments saying Cooks is already hurting and is questionable for week 1. I know that he is, I guess, dealing with a quad injury. I think it's
quad injury. Yep.
Quad injury. And though I think that they're probably holding him back just for week 1, they probably won't have him in as much. I feel like this is a bigger Will Fuller game than anything else.
Oh, you know it. I mean, he caught 5 passes in both of the games last year that they played against Kansas City. And even though the efficiency probably won't be there with D-Hop always taking away opposing defenses and them having to give Hopkins extra attention, which helped Will Fuller. But Fuller is now going to be peppered with more targets, so I think it kind of balances out.
Yeah,
I see you smiling over there.
I was going to drop a joke. Fuller's going to let the cat out of the bag. Like Sam's closet.
Fox is driving me insane right now. He's trying to get, can you guys see? He's trying to get up behind my jerseys.
Can he get up there?
Who does he hate worse, Polamalu or Hines Ward? I hope it's Hines Ward. Screw Georgia.
Hey, I love my Hines Ward. No, I think it's just because the Polamalu jersey is a little bit longer. So he thinks he can pull it down. So
go Gators. Screw Hines Ward.
He rips down my jersey and puts a hole in it. That's not going to be okay.
Just a personal thing.
Free cat if Knox ruins my jersey. Just saying. If anyone's interested in a cat and you're in California, got one. But anyways, we've got a lot of great questions on other players that people are questioning going into this first week 1. B jumping in saying, are you guys fading Aaron Jones this season?
No. Don't you think that people are overreacting just a little bit to the fact that there's so much hype around A.J. Dillon? Just a little bit. I mean, I understand he scored 19 touchdowns last year. He's going to regress on that account a little bit, but he was still an incredibly efficient back that was fantastic in this offense. That's not just going to go away because they drafted a human being that is really big and strong and fast. I mean, he's really big and strong and fast, so it's concerning, but it's not that concerning to the point where I'm fading him for the entire season. Jones is still going to be the back to own there in Green Bay, which is a good situation for any running back. That's the lead dog in that offense.
Yeah. For me, Dillon looks like complimentary piece here.
Right.
And not so much the real deal. And for where you scored Aaron Jones, like more than likely tail end first, early mid second, depending on how your draft played out. I think he's right there. I wouldn't doubt him for a second.
And I want to ask you guys, weren't people high? I was high. You were high on Aaron Jones heading into last year, and he overperformed on those expectations.
Yeah.
And yet we're all fading him this year, and we're getting him at a better draft day price than we were last year before he produced a top 2 season.
Yeah.
Like, the hate has gone too far on Aaron Jones.
I agree. And I think maybe a good question would be if the Packers had drafted, let's say, obviously, draft position aside, if they had taken Jonathan Taylor, if they'd taken Clyde Edwards-Helaire, would this question be more like, okay, yeah, I'm a little bit concerned just based on the talent? Because I feel like it's the talent that we're looking at here and that situation. Like, Aaron Jones was so dominant, but we're also talking about other rookie running backs that are eating into other backs targets.
Right.
Zach Moss with the Bills, DeAndre Swift with the Lions. There's plenty of other, I think, situations that are more running back by committee heavy that are making you question those running backs, the veterans going into this year compared to the rookies. I feel like for me, Aaron Jones has solidified himself. And even though there were times when he was vultured last year, it didn't offset completely how much you got out of him, the value that you took him for.
I would have been more concerned if the Packers would have selected I would have been more concerned if they took Zach Moss. I had a higher draft grade on Zach Moss than I did on A.J. Dillon. Okay. And same can be said about DeAndre Swift and that other slew of backs you already mentioned. So, look, is A.J. Dillon going to have a role? Yes, he's complimentary piece to Aaron Jones, who is the running back one in that situation. For this year, it's fine. I
think it's important to know that distinction on rookie talent because I think that obviously we're so excited to have football back and we're all looking forward to, the breakout player, someone that's going to upset, the apple cart at different, offenses. We're looking forward to that. But I think that it, like you said, it's gone too far on the hate on Aaron Jones. He hasn't lost his job. Nothing else crazy has happened in the news that are really going to make us think that he's completely lost his job. We just have to kind of go with obviously what we know from last year, the grain of salt that you take with the rookies that have been added. But I think that given the offense and the way they used him last year, you shouldn't be fading him.
I have to admit, though, the one picture I think you retweeted of A.J. Dillon, that was scary. The guy looks like the Hulk.
I mean, those thick thighs don't lie. They save lives.
Yeah. I'm a thigh guy, too. Talking chicken. Yeah.
Talking chicken or talking guys?
Chicken.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Yeah, I meant dudes.
I meant dudes. Okay, let's get to more questions from all of our awesome listeners and viewers here. Victor J saying, how high will you draft Antonio Gibson?
Oh, man. I'm glad you asked. I mean, look, what's left of the offensive line there for the Washington football team and the fact that they've still got, a plotter and Peyton Barber, but a competent veteran. J.D. McKissick, who is a pass catching specialist. I get that Antonio Gibson's going to have a role. It's just, we have no idea what the hell that's going to look like week one. I'm not going to use him in DFS lineups. Definitely not week one against the Philadelphia Eagles. So, Victor, I'm staying the hell away from him this week, and I really want to see a couple weeks sample size to see how the snaps play out. But more importantly, the touches and requisite touches, as Buckey would say, the RTs.
Yeah, I have a mixed opinion of this. I'm intrigued to see how it kind of plays out with him, but in terms of where do I feel comfortable drafting Gibson? Where he's going currently is borderline insane. I think he went 4th round in a 14-teamer last night, early 4th round too. And then I've also seen him, I've personally taken him in the 7th or 8th, maybe 8th, which I think is okay. I mean, you got to look upside at that point, and you look at the depth chart, which Aiden, that is what I'm talking about. You try to figure out your spots as you're looking down, but he concerns me in the first few weeks of the season. But I like him as a potential future player. We'll see how it plays out. But no, for me, it's 8th, 9th round. It's not early. And I am concerned for the same reasons that you stated there, Tate.
Yeah,
a stab. The upside there. If he wins the job outright, absolutely. They let go of Adrian Peterson for a reason. And I think part of that reason was Antonio Gibson. And I just pumped the brakes a little bit. That's all.
Yeah. Tyler's also jumping in there on that, saying that they already came out and said Washington is going to be go by committee with the backfield. So, obviously we're going to see who rises to the top. But again, this is probably not a week that you want to jump in on Antonio Gibson. Starting him, flyer, sure, towards the end. But I agree. 4th round is way too high for me on that.
Yeah.
That's just insane.
Thumbs up.
We've got Schmitty joining us. Hello, Schmitty. How are you tonight?
Schmitty.
What is up? Tyler also saying he went RB5 in my 12-team home team league. I about dropped my drink. That was his running back 2 on that team. Well, good luck to that guy then. Hopefully, with a draft like that, you manage to get some other great guys on your squad as well, Tyler.
Yeah, Gibson's makes a great gin and or vodka. I'm not sure which is which. It's called Gibson's though. I think it's gin.
So let's look at this lineup: reporter, newscaster, and chef.
Reporter, newscaster, and chef. Oh, is that what we are? Oh, am I the reporter? That's cool. I want to be.
Where have you reported somewhere before?
Nope.
I thought I was the reporter and you were the chef.
Oh, I'll take that. I like cooking. I make some really macaroni, just saying.
I don't have enough tattoos to be a chef. Pretty amateur, but I do get down in the kitchen.
Oh my goodness. Aiden Bird saying, do you think that quarterback Tommy Stevens, Mississippi State, will have a successful career after Drew Brees retires, or do you think he will be traded to multiple teams?
I'm not too sure about Tommy Stevens.
Yeah, I'm not too sure either.
Didn't they just pay Taysom Hill to potentially be the next quarterback to supplant? And that's what Sean Payton's come out and said prior, and they signed Jameis Winston and whatever. The Saints, until Drew Brees is no longer there, I'm holding off judgment on anybody being their future quarterback, because they really should have used that money they used to sign Taysom Hill to give Alvin Kamara the extension a little bit earlier than just right before the season starts.
Yeah, I have to agree. I'm not there yet. I just want to see Brees finish out the year and do well, and that's about it. Schmitty's jumping in saying, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 100 total yards and 1 touchdown in week 1.
Yeah. I think so.
I think, yeah, easy.
I don't know about easy, but I wouldn't be shocked by any means.
No, I definitely wouldn't be shocked either.
I'm going to say no, though.
You're going to say no just to be different?
Yeah, I like being anti.
Yeah. Wait. Shit. I'm totally blanking on the word that I'm trying to go for. What was save me, Tate? I'm losing it.
You gave us zero indication where you were going.
Words okay, no wait. What is
Don't blank there, reporter. Come on, pull it together.
Really
You're live.
I don't have any White Claw with me at all. I'm just I'm drawing a blank on my words.
I need the White Claw to sustain.
I need the White Claw. Oh, what's a big boom or bust that you think is going to happen this weekend? Or bold prediction? That's the word I'm looking for. Bold prediction. I've got this. I'm okay.
Henry Ruggs finishes as a top 10 PPR wide receiver this week.
Really?
Yeah, against Carolina's secondary. And we don't know what Bryan Edwards is yet. Everybody likes him. I get that he's had a great camp. Everything's been raving about him. But Darren Waller is going to do his thing. I think that the Carolina Panthers offense is going to be a little bit better than people think. Certainly I think DJ Moore is going to have himself a hell of a week too against that Oakland secondary. But Ruggs, I think that Ruggs has a very sneaky week this week, and we see more targets than we expect, and he pops a big one this week against Carolina.
That actually brings up a good question here from Chuck Dussel. I don't know if you can go back on that one, Sam, but is it fair to expect Darren Waller to be the number one passing option for the Raiders, given the inexperience at wide receiver?
Absolutely. I think that I would not be shocked if he duplicates the target volume that he got from last year. Maybe a slightly less, but I still think that he'll probably lead the team in total targets. But I think Ruggs is going to be right there with him.
Yeah, I like that. I don't think that's crazy to expect either. I feel like Waller is dropping in a couple leagues that I saw, just because there's other hype, I think, for Gronk and other tight ends at the position. But I think that this is a great point. Given the inexperience of the wide receivers, it's not crazy to think that Waller's going to be the number one passing option. That's not crazy to me.
Yeah, I don't expect Waller to jump into that top 3 kind of tier for the tight end position, but I think he stays pretty steady anywhere he's at. And I mean, the wide receiver core around him kind of helps that case. I'm with you though on Ruggs, Tate. I'm believing it. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, and I'm getting ruggy with it, man.
Same thing with Djax. I think Djax this week.
Okay.
I mean, I love his boomer bust potential. I think he's playing against his former team in the Washington Redskins, and he's healthy. And really, outside of him, what do they have? They have J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. because I don't think we're going to get Jalen Reagor. I don't think we're going to get Alshon Jeffrey. So it's going to be the D-Jack show. And week 1 of last year, I believe, against the Washington Redskins, that was the 1 week that showed you any potential that him and Carson Wentz have. So give me some D-Jacks this week too.
Yeah, I'm going to pass on the old D-Jack serving. I'm going to go for the main course.
What's the main course?
Zach Ertz.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
I like Zach Ertz a lot.
Zach Ertz, Goddard. I think that.
I'm not telling anybody to fade those guys.
No, I'm just saying, similar to what we just said for Waller, you could see Ertz being the number 1 passing option there too.
I think he is. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I don't think anyone's going to take that away from him. I don't think I see anyone stepping up to the plate on that one. But
me neither, Sam.
Yeah. And I love P. Morley saying, getting ruggy with it.
I'm getting ruggy with it. The more I watch his college film too, Tate, I seriously, I sit back and I'm like, this could be a problem in the league. This could be a big problem in the league.
He's a better route runner. He's not just a vertical, send him deep guy. I mean, he creates separation with more than just his blazing speed. So if John Gruden can, it's not more so if John Gruden can scheme him in, right? It's just more so if Derek Carr can find him. Like, that's it. Derek Carr is inconsistent to me, and it drives me nuts. So, but Ruggs, he's going to have plenty of opportunities. I know John Gruden. I'll tell you what, man, I'm going to try to get that kid the ball. He's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Schmitty with a bold prediction saying Hollywood Brown repeats last year's debut he had with 147 and 2 touchdowns this weekend.
Ooh, against the Browns? Denzel Ward?
Yeah. I don't think that would shock.
I like that. I like Hollywood Brown this year.
I do too.
It's just a hefty total, It's a lot of points.
Again, Smitty, I'm going to say no.
I did see something also. There was a comment somewhere about DJ Chark.
Mm-hmm.
This Jacksonville offense, speaking of terrible running backs rooms, we've got James Robinson as like the listed number 1 starter. Divine Ozigbo is already dealing with an injury. Chris Thompson's still hanging around, getting a paycheck. I mean, they're going to be throwing the ball and playing from behind a lot. DJ Chark is, I think, pencil him in for 100+ targets, if not right around the kind of the 120 to 140 range. And with his big playability and what I've saw from him as improved as far as a route runner goes, I think DJ Chark has a legit chance to finish as a low-end, like top 10, top 12-ish wide receiver. I think he's got a legit chance just on volume alone.
Yeah, I like that. One of my bold predictions is that the Jags go winless, so I just see them playing from behind constantly.
Nah, Gardner will get him one.
Gardner, he'll get him one. Yeah, because it's the NFL. There will be that one weird slip up or injury created situation for him. I will say though, I love Chark. I think they're going to be behind. I think Chark is an extremely athletic guy. I think he just scratched the surface of his potential last year. I look for him to build on the rapport there with Gardner Minshew and the mustache and the bandana and all the good stuff.
I don't know what Charknado.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be a good name you can mix with Minshew and Charknado.
Charknado.
Chark Griswold?
Yeah, that doesn't.
No,
that doesn't really spell a menacing fantasy player for me.
No,
it spells more like he's gonna blow the switchboard.
Oh my goodness,
that's what it sounds like.
Good random question for us. One adult beverage you refuse to drink again that makes you think of a bad fantasy pick that ruined all hopes.
I know what Tate's is.
Oh, it's an Appletini.
You drank Appletinis while drafting?
Oh, yeah. One time. Yeah. It's not good. It's a terrible draft. Really bad.
Who are you?
I think I finished 1-12 that year.
Oh, my God.
I just had to never do it again.
It was a scene. It was an absolute scene.
Yeah. I can't live that one down. I just told
everybody
you
owned up on it because I wasn't gonna say it myself. I was gonna keep that to the vest.
Well, I appreciate you taking that to the grave, but, just wouldn't be a man of honor if I didn't actually answer the question honestly.
A man knows when he's drinking Appletinis, and he has to live with it.
It's tough. We all live and learn.
I know the worst draft I had after drinking, and that wasn't even a full draft. That was just a rookie draft. And I had gone out to one of the lovely gay bars that we have in West Hollywood and showed up at my draft just absolutely annihilated. I can't even tell you what the alcohol was that got me blitzed because I drank all of them. So I don't even know.
You had a mat shot is what you're saying.
What's a mat shot? So
mat shot is it's basically what you would get for somebody as a prank, like it's their birthday or whatever. So the bartenders are pouring drinks all night onto the same bar mat.
Oh.
So then if you ask for a mat shot, they will legitimately take whatever's left over. You know how they have like the little pins in there? So there's leftover liquid. And so it's whatever they've been mixing, pouring all into a shot. So that's a mat shot. That was you that night.
Yeah, I guess, but that sounds horrifying.
It is, having had to take one once or twice. A mat shot will humble you very quickly. I still haven't recovered, as you can tell. Look at me. Some say I look this way because of those mat shots. For me, it's anytime I drink liquor and I draft. So I'm a straight up beer guy. Miller Lite's great tasting, less filling, of course. If I drink liquor during a draft, it's downhill. And Lord knows, back in the day, you let your things get away, and you're around friends again. You've been off at college or whatever, and you come back and you just start sucking down some good whiskeys. And by the time draft starts, you've had 4 of them. And then you're like, oh, I'm going to take it easy on beer. But then you have 10 of those. And at that point, you are not drafting soundly. It's not a great situation for you. So I've been there.
Oh, my goodness. No. Yeah. I mean, I think all of my drafts, the actual drafts, I try and maintain as far as I can into the rounds. Then the tail end is when, it goes by the wayside. You've held it together long enough, and that's when you take the dart throws that are just too deep.
Well, that's part of it. Or you can draft your keeper in the 7th round who had a torn ACL in Jordy Nelson.
Yeah.
That's what I did. Yep.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Oh my.
That's what happens when you drink too much prior to the draft.
Mostly Apple products, though.
Most people want to know where this draft took place. That you
with Buck. Buck let this happen on his watch.
No, I believe it was at your parents' place, was it not?
I never hosted a draft. I think it was George Andino's, my friend in Tampa, Florida.
It was. Yes, it was.
Yes.
It was in Tampa, and it was at a home establishment. I think they're asking which restaurant or bar. The Bar of Tate that he brought from the liquor store.
I brought my dad with me too. I brought my dad with me because my dad likes to party just as much as I do. And he actually ended up he got worse than I did and got thrown out of the draft because he started taking full beer cans and like saying, "Get down, grenade," and throw them into a nearby neighbor's lawn.
Yeah. He was also trying to take folks' laptops as we were drafting.
That was premeditated. I told him to do that. Just right. I think I have to pick. They're on the
seemed
clock.
Really focused on me.
That's horrifying. So. P. Morley's jumping in and saying, "I thought a Matt shot was Matt Ryan in odd numbered years." I like that one.
It's a way to crack the code.
But it absolutely is. Let's really quickly, before we go completely down the rabbit hole, because I know that between the 3 of us, we absolutely can. There was another start sit that you brought up, Tate, that I'd love to get to, and someone that you want to sit this week that I think other people need to hear.
Oh, it's Antonio Gibson. We've already kind of touched on him a little bit. I think it was Victor who asked about where to draft him, if I remember correctly. If not, sorry about that. But yeah, I'm staying the hell away from Antonio Gibson for the exact reasons I said before. I don't trust their offensive line against that Philadelphia front unit. Hell no, all day, no way. Lay by the bay, eat some clay. I got that wrong. On another day, we'll do it and fix it. So just stay away from Washington Gibson, Antonio Gibson for week 1.
There's another one, though, that we talked about off air, and that's Mike Evans.
Oh, yeah. No. I locked down Lattimore, and he's a real thing against Mike Evans. He goose-egged him once last season. And the other game, I think, Bucky, you said it was like 4 catches for 69 yards. Yeah. Wasn't anything all that spectacular. And keep in mind, the Bucs were playing from behind like all damn season last season. So, things a little bit different now with Tom Brady under center. But, I mean, lockdown Lattimore is going to be all over Mike Evans, and Brady's just going to go elsewhere. And I just wouldn't expect a ton of production from Mike Evans this week. Temper your expectations. If you have other options, don't be afraid to sit Mike Evans.
But I feel like where most people are drafting Mike Evans, it's going to be difficult for them to sit him. So most people either drafted him as a wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2. So hopefully, I guess, if you did draft him, you've got another backup and you went wide receiver heavy early. However, would you just move him to your flex position and try and take the chance on other receivers, moving them up?
This is all roster, how you constructed your roster. Just, keep in mind your other options. I mean, if you're asking me if you should start Brashad Perriman over Mike Evans, no, calm down. Just still go with Mike Evans. But if you have another guy like I mentioned before with like Deshaun Jackson or something like that, or another high upside guy, I like Henry Ruggs this week, then yeah, I would 100% take a chance on those other options over Mike Evans because I know how lockdown Lattimore plays him traditionally. So, I mean, and we just got Will Jenkins, Evans, or T.Y. Hilton. Give me T.Y. Give me T.Y. over Mike Evans this week. I like his matchup a hell of a lot better against the Jacksonville secondary, or what's left of it, than Mike Evans against the Saints.
What about Tyler Boyd or Mike Evans?
Tyler Boyd. I mean, Tyler Boyd doesn't have a great matchup in his own right. They're playing against the Los Angeles Chargers. But with a healthy A.J. Green and him working the slot, I'm okay with your boy Tyler Boyd. Put him in there.
I'm in on it.
Fine. Dried Ocean saying Bucky is back. Yes, we've got Bucks back.
Hello, Dio.
Love it. Love having Bucks in with us. Chuck Duzel? Am I going to say that right? Definitely did not say
I think so. I would say Dussel. It might be Dussel. I'm
calling them the Dews.
The Dews.
Yeah, the Dews. I like the Dews.
Yeah.
Would also sit Devontae Parker against Stephon Gilmore, my apologies, this week, expecting some revenge for what Parker did to Gilmore last year.
So that's funny you say that because that's actually one of my bold predictions for the 2020 fantasy season. I boldly predict, some people may disagree with it being bold, but I'm saying Preston Williams is going to finish with more fantasy points than Devontae Parker in 2020. I think the writing was on the wall last year when the first 8 games of the season saw more targets, had more receptions, had more yards than Devontae Parker. They were almost equal as far as production goes. And Williams, I mean, we didn't see Devontae Parker break out until Williams got hurt. Now they're both going to be there. And I think that they both have better quarterback play. But Preston Williams, from all the reports, he's healthy. I know he was limited at practice today, but I believe they're having some sort of planned rest for him unless he's had some sort of significant setback. I just think that Preston Williams showed what he was as a rookie on a bad team. The quarterback play is going to be better, if not significantly improved, once Tua gets under center. Give me Preston Williams. I think he's a better player than Devontae Parker.
I mean, I guess that's not crazy to me. I like it. It's a good level of spicy. I think it's something that it's palatable for me. I appreciate that take.
I have 4 shares of Williams, 0 of Parker. I love Williams.
So maybe it's not that bold.
It's not that it's bold because you look at Devontae Parker, you think, all right, physical freak. But we've been saying it now for how long? And sure, he had a better season last year, but we're just one bad injury away. And we're also going to have an offense that I think is going to struggle to find identity. And I look at Preston Williams, I just think he's more consistent. I like if you just put player A versus player B on film, you don't know who they are. I'm with you that Preston Williams is more impressive.
Parker is also dealing with a mild hamstring injury right now. That's been nagging him. I think he's still going to play this week, but as Chuck mentioned, he's going. I'm 100% sitting Devontae Parker this week against Stephon Gilmore. No questions asked.
No, I like that. Dried Ocean jumping in saying, will you guys be streaming on Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern? Correct, we will. It's 10 a.m. Eastern? I thought
10:30. 10:30 Eastern.
10:30 Eastern, yep.
Yeah, I need the extra 30 minutes to sleep so I can roll out of bed in my jammies and join you guys at 7:30 Pacific Coast time. But I'll be there too.
Yeah, Sam will be there. It's the whole crew.
Whole crew.
We're getting live. I'm really excited about the live show. It's my
Me
favorite
too.
thing. Although the live interaction with all the viewers has been great tonight. So thank you everybody for contributing. We really love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let us know your bold predictions for the 2020 season in the comment section, because I'm interested to see where you guys are planting your flag. The other one, I think Bucky's going to like this one.
Ooh.
I think Bucky's going to like this one. I say Josh Allen finishes as a top 2 quarterback.
Ooh.
In fantasy. Look, 8 rushing touchdowns his rookie and second season. And he's still got John Brown, and now you add Stephon Diggs, and he's got the measly Beasley that's in the slot that just is a nice safety blanket for him. And I think Dawson Knox takes a nice step in his second season. And I think you're going to get more production out of the backfield with a healthy Devin Singletary and a significant improvement on Frank Gore with Zach Moss. This offense I think is going to be formidable. And you got Josh Allen, who is a poor man's Cam Newton. I think that he comes of age in 2020.
That's bold, Derek.
That's
It's bold. You're right. It's
a
bold.
little spicy for me. I don't know if I can handle that.
I just look for him to kind of underwhelm running the football, but I also look, there's certain things, intangibles in a player that you can never take away. Like McDermott can sit there and say, hey, would you quit being such an asshole around the goal line? Like, you are putting all your limbs out there. I think there's just something missing from Allen's brain in a good way, in a pure competitive way, where he's just going to say, screw it. I'm getting in there. That's my job at the end of the day. And as much as everybody says, well, we're going to come back down to earth in terms of the rushing output, the touchdowns, that might be true, but the mentality's there. And if he can translate some of that into some smarter quarterback play, which you said he comes of age, perhaps he doesn't take as many big hits, but then he lulls defenses to sleep, and all of a sudden he's just taken off, and he's got the speed to burn. He's a massive human. He's agile. He can leap. He can jump. I'm in. Top 2 QB. Yep. I just you spoke it to me, and then I spoke it to you, and then I bought it. I'm in.
Speaking this into existence.
I'm in.
So
Green line went on. Thank you. You're welcome. I just had to show you the way, Buck. All you had to do was walk through the door.
Thanks, man.
So then my follow-up question to that is, if you see him as a top 2, is number 1 still Mahomes for you?
I just have I'm not going to say a bad feeling about Lamar Jackson. I just think that regression is in session from what he did last season. I mean, how much longer is he going to be able to run the football at that clip and stay healthy? I mean, you talk about a guy who's not built like Josh Allen, who's not built like a man-child. I mean, he's in great shape, but he's thin. So Jackson's the man, and you definitely are justified in taking him early on because he's fantastic. He averaged like 27 fantasy points per game last season, but I just wonder how much longer he can hold up.
I mean, I get that. I just feel like
Madden curse too.
Jackson's not someone that I want to, I don't want to fade him at all. I feel like every year we've seen another level, and I feel like he's just such a crazy, crazy competitor, and the coaching staff has been fantastic at working with him to develop his game. I just don't feel like we've hit his ceiling yet. So I don't feel like this is going to be his year to drop completely out of that top.
I don't think he drops. As somebody who's in great shape but kind of thin, I can relate to Lamar's problems. I can relate. I could get banged up pretty easy out there. You put me out there, I'm like a pinball. But I also think there could be a bit of a step back, only because, look, we always kind of see this trend of first year, very talented player, just basically taking the NFL by storm. And then guess what? We have tape. There's this wonderful thing called tape. And once the tape catches up with you, I kind of agree with you here, Tate, is that he's going to have a good year. Top 10, he's in there. His legs alone gets him there. Mm-hmm. But I do look for defenses to really adjust to him this year based on film.
Gotcha. Well, then not completely going off of the Bills yet because we were still talking about Josh Allen. Tyler's saying Josh Allen is a man that would run through a brick wall. Sold, and you're going to add Diggs? Sign me up. I do like to – I'm excited to see Diggs with Allen. I'm excited to see that stack. Do you guys have that combo in any leagues?
I didn't get one share of Diggs. There was a couple times where I was just about to pull the trigger on him and somebody swiped him right before me. So sucks because I actually did want a share or two of Stephon Diggs, but – Josh Allen's rushing capabilities are more so what excite the living hell out of me about adding a perennial 1,000-yard receiver on the outside that can win matchups. And then with John Brown and the rest of the cast and crew, yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of upside with this Bills offense.
I like Diggs, but I've gotten him late. I've gotten him like 6th or 7th round, most like end of 6th, 7th. Which I feel good about. He's my wide receiver 3.
Dried Ocean saying, I literally just had a draft with Allen and Diggs on my team. So, hey, people are getting the stack out there where they can.
There you go.
B had a good question here. Who has the better fantasy season, Joe Burrow or Phillip Rivers?
Burrow.
I'm completely in on Burrow. I feel like this is a team that still has a lot to do and a lot to prove, but I think there's nobody, it's hard-pressed to think of someone more eager to prove themselves in this league than Joe Burrow. I mean, he obviously just came off of the season that he did, record-breaking that it was, shattering. It would be completely a fall from grace to absolutely just explode and just shit the bed this year. I feel like he's got a lot to prove with an offense that he feels like he wants to put a stamp on.
One's climbing, one's descending. Give me the one that's climbing.
Yeah.
You talk about two guys in polar opposite situations. Terrible offensive line for Joe Burrow. Great pass catching options all over the place and a great running back. As far as Phillip Rivers, though, he's playing behind the best offensive line in the league, a dominant running game with really a hodgepodge group of young receivers and T.Y. Hilton. Rivers will be serviceable, but Burrow's going to be playing from behind and slinging the rock all season long. Give me your boy, Joe Burrow.
Also, less kids in the household to deal with.
100%.
Yeah.
Less distractions with as many kids.
Trust me, Buck loves the kids, but I think Joe Burrow's in better shape in terms of home state mentality.
The only person that his game got better during COVID was Phillip Rivers because he has 9 kids and he had them all running routes in the backyard.
Yeah, it's true. He's gotten to this point only because of his squad of goons, aka his kids.
One more. Which rookie wide receiver would you guys like better, Ruggs or Judy this year?
Judy's a better player. Ruggs is a better option this year.
Just with the situation?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I agree with you there.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be hard for Judy to make a stamp on that offense.
It's going to be a sweet combo platter with Sutton and Judy, though.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that there's going to be potential there, but I think I agree with you guys in that Ruggs has a better potential for fantasy volume this year.
Yeah, I mean, I love Judy, though. Don't get me wrong.
And then we've got a lovely off-the-rails question from Victor J's to, take us home. Victor J is saying, what are your top 3 Ryan Reynolds movies? You guys want to do a draft on these?
Yeah, we can do that. That's fine. We just got to – I got to get back to work. I'm actually at the office.
We're gonna use this one to take us home before we close it out. Bucks, as the guest here today, I'm going to have you go first.
This one's tough for me. I'm going Just Friends, number 1.
Just Friends is a good one.
I really love it. As somebody who became rail thin after being a larger guy, I could really relate to Just Friends storyline. And Ryan Reynolds portrayed my story perfectly.
Okay, Tate, I'll let you take the next pick.
Oh, Deadpool. Not even close.
I knew you were going to take it. I was trying to be nice.
Give me Deadpool. That was really sweet of you.
Yeah, I just want to be thoughtful.
That's simple. Nothing else really needs to be said. Maximum effort.
Deadpool's fantastic. I mean, geez. Yeah, I mean, then I would have to just be mean and say Deadpool 2, because I think that of sequel movies, Deadpool 2 is a fantastic sequel. No?
X-Force.
X.
Yep. Yes, it is great.
Okay, snake draft. Sam, you're up.
Okay, I took Deadpool 2. Let me see. I guess I'm going to go with The Proposal just because I just watched it the other week, and I think it's a fantastic rom-com.
Still haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
I need to watch it.
I know that we've got a whole list of homework movies for our other podcast, Bucks, so we'll have to go through that one.
We got a lot of work to do.
We do. We've got a lot to do over on the Odd Couple podcast. If you guys haven't checked it out, Bucks and I break down rom-coms. And with the amazing analysis we bring you from fantasy football, we apply it to rom-coms. It's a good time. So please go ahead and check that out.
I love love.
We love love.
Tate, you're number 2.
Well, I love this pick, Van Wilder.
Damn.
Yep. Easy.
I can't name any other movies. What else is he in?
Definitely maybe.
I need suggestions.
Definitely maybe's cute. The Croods, he was the voice on that one. R.I.P.D.
I would never do the Croods, Sam. In fact, I've seen the Croods, and I despise it with every ounce of my being. And there's a lot of ounces. Let me pull up the old IMDb here.
Life.
I truly
That
don't know any of these. This is just wow. What a nice thing here.
Pokemon. He did that Pokemon movie with Pikachu, Detective Pikachu.
I'm gonna go Smoking Aces here.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
I like Smoking Aces. I don't know what role he played, but that was fantastic.
It was a good movie. Yeah, not a bad pick. I got a better one. Wrap around, final pick.
Oh, I got a wrap around R.I.P.D., which was single-handedly the worst movie I've ever seen. It's basically like if ghost cops ran the world.
Oh my goodness.
R.I.P.D. I recommend it for a watch. It's a good throwaway.
Alrighty. Tate, with yours?
This may be a little known one, but I'm going to go Waiting.
Waiting was a good one.
Way back when, he was a great asshole trainer as like the head server of a place. I don't even know the name of the restaurant. Dane Cook was also in it. He was like a cook in the back room and was a dickhead. It was great. It was a great, like, degenerate movie. I really appreciate it. It's like I think I'd call it classic.
Yeah, the movie scarred me.
My goodness. And
Ever since I saw the bat wings.
I'm gonna go with Hitman's Bodyguard as the last one.
I've never seen that.
That's a good one.
It was good. It was decent.
After review of Ryan Reynolds' filmography, I'm not all that impressed.
All right. I feel like he was in more stuff.
Me too. And I feel like every time I watch something with him in it, I really enjoy it, which is why I'm like, why do I not have a great movie of his outside of Deadpool?
I think it's because we're all scarred from Green Lantern. We just kind of forgot about him.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the best part, I think, about Deadpool 2 was the scene where he kills him off at the very end, the post-credit scene.
Yes, that one was really good. I mean, it doesn't get much better than Deadpool and Deadpool 2. Just elite level of films right there. But guys, thanks for tuning in. If you guys have any other questions or bold predictions, please go ahead and leave them in the comments at us on the Twitter. And tune in on Sunday morning. We will be all together live, the whole crew for Fantasy Focused at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific, right before all the games start. Answer those last-minute lineup questions, and we'll get you all the answers that we can possibly get you. Thanks again for tuning in, everyone. Now, Bucks, where can everyone find you? We'll go around this in the circle.
At the bar.
Bucks the 5'9".
At Bucks the 5'9". He's really bad at getting back to you on Twitter. However, you're going to do better, aren't you?
Always. Onward and upward.
Onward and upward. Tate, where can everyone find you?
Dtater 4. I make it simple for everybody. By the way, if you dig like DFS contests and you like props bets, over-unders for things like that, more or less, check out monkeyknifefight.com. Sign up, create an account. When you make a $50 deposit or more, Monkey Knife Fight will actually give you an additional $50 to play with for the upcoming fantasy football season. So check it out. It's a good partnership. Use
the code FOCUSED. There it is. Promo code FOCUSED.
Promo code FOCUSED, guys. Go ahead and check that out. Ahead of tomorrow's games, I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of fun prop bets for you guys to check out. If you guys want to follow me, I'm at Samantha R. Holt on Twitter and at Sam_awesome on the IG, Instagram. So next time, we'll catch you guys later. Have a great night.
Did you just try to steal my line? Until next time, later, says the Tater.